Okay. Thanks again for tapping into the show. This is a post Super Bowl wrap up. I just got 5 takeaways from the game that I want to share with you, elaborate a little bit, and then wrap this on up for you and move on to doing something else. So stay tapped in. You know I appreciate you, and you know I love you. In a minute. All right, my first takeaway was Jalen Hurts was extremely impressive. Remember, if you watched the show at the very beginning of the season, I said he had to make another step. He was going to have to be able to throw from the pocket on third and long and crucial game situations. He was able to do that yesterday. If his defense didn't let him down, Eagles win that Super Bowl easily. They dominated most of the game. Jalen Hurts threw for over 300 yards. He ran for over 70 yards. I definitely think he earned $45 million a year last night. I think the Eagles should be sitting down right now trying to get this deal hammered out and get it done. Don't show any signs of disrespect. Not only do you got a guy who works his tail off, right? He's a good citizen. He's a great leader, positive young man. And he's getting better. He's going to get better just because of his dedication and work ethic alone. So you got some weapons around him. You can make yourself relevant 5 to 7 years. You go ahead, you wrap up Jalen Hurts, give him $45 million a year. You ain't got to guarantee all of it. I understand the game, but go and get a man his money because he certainly deserves it. So very impressive performance from Jalen Hurts. Really like what I saw from you. And I don't know, maybe it's me and I'm crazy and I'm nostalgic or whatever the case may be, but watching Jalen Hurts last night, I don't know about you, but I thought I was looking at the right-handed Steve Young. That's what I saw. Very precise in the pocket, ran when he needed to, ran effectively. Can't bust big runs all the time. The defense going to stop you sometime. But over 300 yards, over 70 yards on the ground, 4 touchdowns, Super Bowl record, right? So got to give it up to Jalen Hurts. Very impressive performance. Proud of you, young man, and I'm sure you're going to have a long, strong career. Thank you for taking the next step. You guys won't hear me saying anything else about Jalen Hurts moving forward. Now, my second takeaway, Patrick Mahomes, or Patty Ice, or Patrick Mahomes, boy, or Patrick got Holmes. I mean, whatever you want to call it. He did it again. Last minute drive to win the game, down the field, on one leg, even ran for 26 yards. I think it's safe to say at this point that Patrick Mahomes has the measurables and he has the intangibles. We talked about intangibles at the beginning of the season. I told you guys, anointing Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen, trying to anoint them and put them in the same category as a Patrick Mahomes was foolish. It was premature for all you 2-minute brothers. Premature ejaculation. You shot your load too quick. Patrick Mahomes has something else in him, right? He's got that Tiger Woods. He's got that Michael Jeffrey Jordan. He's got that something else in him, right? I know he ain't on your team. And remember, he didn't get picked in the top 10, so there's 10 other teams that could have had Patrick Mahomes. Now, the combination between him and Andy Reid, would it have been successful somewhere else? Well, we'll never know. Speculate, because that's all we can do is speculate, right? But he did it again. Last-minute drive, took his team down the field, and, engineered the game-winning drive for a field goal and a Super Bowl win and an MVP on one leg. You see what Patrick Mahomes could do to you on one leg with no Tyreek Hill. Oh, no Tyreek Hill. We thought he was done. Remember at the beginning of the year? I know you pundits get paid a lot more money than I do. I don't make no money doing this. But y'all don't know what the hell y'all be talking about. You just don't know. Patrick Mahomes is not a gimmick quarterback. Tyreek Holmes wasn't a gimmick player. He went to Miami and put up some good numbers. Y'all thought he was done. Look who he took. He took Juju off the Pittsburgh Steelers scrap heap. Took Marquez, Valdez, Scantling off the Green Bay Packers scrap heap. Right? Got Kadarius Toney off the New York Giants crap heat. That's who he. Isaiah Pacheco, what was that, 5th or 6th round pick out of Rutgers? This is who he won with. Yeah, Travis Kelce. But y'all underestimated the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line. But Patrick Mahomes does it again. So I don't know. I think it's safe money to put on Mahomes in a clutch situation. Because now Mahomes, to me, clutch-wise, in terms of football, he's up there. He's moving up there into the John Elway, Joe Montana stratosphere. That's all I'm saying. And we know we got at least 10, 12 more years of him. So let's see how it go. I don't want to be premature myself and shoot my load, but he keep playing at this level. That's 2 Super Bowls in 4 years. He's been in the AFC Championship game every year. So now we about to find out if they can keep doing it. Andy Reid looked like he still got a lot in the tank. He's not on E. So congratulations to Patrick Mahomes, Super Bowl MVP, and tell your pops, it is what it is, and we love you. In a minute. Okay, everybody's crying about this late pass interference call. First of all, it was a pass interference. It was. I mean, it was a holding call. It wasn't a PI. My bad. Let's clarify. That's why the ball not being catchable is not important, because it wasn't a pass interference. It was a holding. So first, when you start crying and whining, learn something about the game. Defensive holding and defensive pass interference aren't the same penalty. They don't have the same criteria. All right, that's first off. But he did grab him. And if you listen to him, Mr. Bradbury himself, he'll tell you that he grabbed him. He was hoping the referee would let it go, but he didn't. He made the call. But I got to add something. Y'all act like that would have changed the course of the game. Y'all act like Jalen Hurts was going to lead the Eagles down the field with a minute and a little bit of change left. He could have. It's possible. It's plausible, right? Never seen him do it all year. I think he did something similar against the Colts. They won like 3 or 4 games. He beat them like, what was it, 17, 16? Jalen Hurts, the only knock on the Eagles was they had never went up against a fully loaded star quality team. Even when they played the 49ers in the NFC Championship, they knocked Brock Purdy out, and the 49ers had to go get a Walmart cashier to finish the game. Those are the facts. Most of the time during the season, the Eagles had leads. They had leads against teams with subpar or average quarterbacks. That's how you get 70 sacks in a season. They didn't get no sacks against Patrick Mahomes. So that late a holding call, it was a legit call. I don't know why y'all selectively want the referees to do their job. It's like, one game, oh, they shouldn't have called that. One game, oh, why didn't they call that? You got to we need consistency. The referees have to do their job no matter what game it is, no matter what point of the game it is, no matter who's winning, who's losing, and how crucial. So as a referee, I shouldn't make a call just because it's a crucial moment in a big game and it could cost another team the game. That's not fair. That sounds rigged, don't it? All right, then. Let the referees do their job. Let them make the calls. It was a good call. You can see it on the tape from multiple angles. And the man that made the mistake, Mr. Bradbury himself, is telling you it was a good call. Y'all stop looking for a reason. Find something better to talk about. That wasn't the reason the Eagles lost the game. That fumble return for a touchdown turned out to be the difference, if you really want to know the truth. But you can blame it on the holding call all you want. Do what you got to do. But you can't grab a receiver like that. They've been getting shook all game, just shook on them little whip routes in the red zone. Kelce was wide open. I think your boy Kadarius Toney was wide open. Looked like it was about to happen again. So to prevent the touchdown, he did what all defenders are supposed to do. He grabbed him. No biggie. It was just at a crucial point in the game, but it was a penalty. And the referee made the right call. So y'all let all that shit go, man, and just accept the results for what they are. Now, I kind of alluded to this, but the Chiefs' offensive line completely outplayed the Philadelphia Eagles' defensive line. We heard all this big, high, mighty, major talk. 70 sacks in a season. Everybody had at least 10. We didn't hear their names for the whole game. We didn't hear their linebackers for the whole game. Where was Darius Slay at? I ain't hear his name either. You know who name we heard? We heard Bolton on the Chiefs. We heard his name all game. He was everywhere. Where was the Eagles' defensive line when it mattered the most? Y'all underestimated and underrated the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line. You did it. That's because y'all don't know what y'all be talking about. I told you, check the tape. The Chiefs was going to win on a late game-winning drive for Patrick Mahomes. I told you it'd be a nail-biter. It'd be tough. And it was. A lot more points scored than I expected, but it was still a tight game all the way to the end, which is great for ratings and great for entertainment value and great for classics, memories, and all that kind of good stuff. But the Eagles' defensive line didn't show up. I don't know who their linebackers are. Please, somebody in the comment section, tell me who the Philadelphia Eagles linebackers are. Because I don't even think they was on the field last night. So, remember all that in-season hype? Because it ain't no way that Jalen Hurts put on his best performance of his career and still lose. That's just not possible. That's because the defense let the Eagles down. See, you used to being up 28-7 against the Vikings and the Falcons and whoever you playing with a horrible quarterback back there. He ain't horrible, but he average. Not Patrick Mahomes. With no real weapons on the outside. So that's what you've been that's kind of how it went for you most of the season. So, you get a false impression. But who did the Eagles really play during the regular season? Did they really have some tough matchups to prepare them for Patrick Mahomes? I don't think so. But they'll have a stronger schedule next year being a runner-up in the Super Bowl. So if they can perform and produce a good record like they did this year, next year, then I don't think nobody will beat them in the Super Bowl. But I don't think they're going to give us that kind of record again. That playoff record, that Super Bowl runner-up record is a lot tougher. It's called strength of schedule, you guys. They're going to have a higher and a tougher strength of schedule next year than they did this year. So I don't expect the Eagles to be back, but I do expect Hurst to put up top 5, top 10 numbers, but it won't be enough because that defensive line got exposed and everybody knows. So that's what that is. Defensive line, you didn't show up. There was no Graham. Adonijah Suh, oh yeah, Adonijah Suh, you did get the illegal hands to the face, which I thought was a bullshit call, bruh, because I seen you had his jersey and you was just pushing his jersey up. So I thought that was a bullshit call on Suh, but that's the only time we heard y'all name on the defensive line, unfortunately, was when penalties was getting called. Other than that, y'all was missing in action. Huh. See if you show up next year. We'll know then. But what we know now, you didn't. So I guess I'll see you when I see you. Well. Andy Reid. What culture tree did he come from? Did we say Bill Walsh? Is that another Bill Walsh offensive genius out there? Y'all seen them red zone plays. Philadelphia was not ready for it. Now, you notice every time they got in the red zone, they would walk. Not Kelsey would come in motion, but he would walk in motion. He didn't run in motion. He walked in motion. They got to the line quick, have him walk in motion, see what the defensive adjustments were. That's it. And whatever the defense did or however they adjusted, then they would respond accordingly. Philadelphia wasn't ready for it. This great defense got shredded in the second half like it was practice, like it was 7-on-7 drills. Mahomes threw one incompletion in the second half, and that was in the back of the end zone. So can we now, seriously, we have to seriously now put Andy Reid in the upper echelon of NFL coaches of all time. The plays he draw up after losing to Tyreek Hill, just an absolute game breaker, the cheetah, right? Look at the receivers he had. He had a 5th or 6th round running back in the backfield, Mr. Isaiah Pacheco out of Rutgers. Big Ten football, right? You see that? He doesn't. Now, he does have a superstar quarterback. That helps. But we seen him draw up magnificent plays with Donovan McNabb. Mr. Chubby Wubby back there. Roly-poly. Looked like he eating donuts and Cheetos and everything on the sideline between plays. He had him in the NFC Championship game 5 consecutive years. So Andy Reid can coach. So that's 9 conference championship games total. That's that Bill Walsh coaching tree. I don't know, y'all don't like it, but the best coaches, they come from the Bill Walsh coaching tree, down through Shanahan, down through Andy Reid. That all started with Bill Walsh. So Andy Reid outsmarted the defensive coaches on the Eagles, but I thought Sirianni as a coach coached a hell of a game. He was fearless. He wasn't afraid to take chances and gambles. Even early in the game, on his side of the field, their side of the field, it didn't matter. Now, that last field goal they kicked, I thought he was going to go for it there, but he decided to take the points. I'm not mad at him. But so Sirianni, on a coaching level, he wasn't out-coached. The second half adjustments made by Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs off the offense, you saw it. It was like clockwork. It was like a fine oil machine out there, just humming, just running. Every play, yards, here, short, there. And they just kept moving the ball. And you notice in the second half, Andy Reid did something that he's never done. This is something that everybody missed. He ran the ball. Remember when it used to be like Andy Reid was almost allergic to running the ball? That cost him in Philly a lot. He had Westbrook, and he wouldn't run the ball with Westbrook. But anyway, so he came out with Pacheco in the second half, and they ran more. I'm sure if I pulled up the numbers, they would have a higher run percentage per play in the second half this year than they had all season long. And I think that was the determining factor. It showed Kansas City's physicality. And then that's what kind of, you notice that the defensive line, their morale went down. It went down further and further as the game went along. You can see to the point to where Mahomes, look at that scramble when he ran for 26 yards. Wasn't nobody chasing him. They was done at that point. They was tired, they was gassed, and they was getting their ass kicked. And, you know, it's only so long you keep getting your ass kicked and stay motivated, right? At some point, you got to go back to the drawing board. So Andy Reid drew up a great offensive scheme, a great plan. They got the ball out quick. He didn't really put Patrick Mahomes at risk. And I already told you the offensive line outperformed the defensive Eagles line, and the game is won in the trenches. You got all the pretty divas on the outside. You got the pretty boy leader at quarterback. You got the slick, fast running back. You got all those, all those skill positions. But if you're not winning in the trenches, which is where everything starts in the trenches, right? Even when you build a house, you got to build trenches. So I'm just saying, they won it in the trenches, and Andy Reid's game plan was superior to the defensive strategy of the Philadelphia Eagles. And that was quite obvious and evident in the second half of the Super Bowl. So good job, Coach Reid. I put you in the upper echelon. There's not too many coaches that I would pick over you. We got Belichick. We got Parcells. We got Walsh. We got Chuck Noll, for sure. Lombardi. And Shula, you got to put Reed in that conversation moving forward. If you don't, then you don't know football. So congratulations, Coach Reed. I know you've been through a lot and you keep fighting, and your fight and your perseverance is actually inspiration for those who are familiar with what you're going through. So good job, Coach. Good job, Chiefs. You won fair and square. You're the Super Bowl champions. I'm not a fan, but I respect it. So until next time, don't nobody else tell you, I'm going to tell you, I love you like a play cousin. In a minute.